Ben Brown, Evolution Martial Arts Instruction United with Jared. Couple old dudes trying to stay relevant in grappling, right? Father Time is working against us, dude.
It is.
But that's the thing, right there on the board, I put use it or lose it. You just have to keep using this body, it'll keep working. Sure, it slows down, sure things break here and there, but get in here, sweat a little bit, this thing keeps working.
Enough ice, you'll be okay.
A little bit. Ice is my best friend. I've made good friends with ice, dude. I have an ice machine, all that. Some of you watching this know what we're talking about. And those of you who are in your 20s are like, what is he talking about?
They'll know.
Ice, yeah, you're gonna know, especially if you stay doing this. Escapes, you guys. Guillotine from closed guard, okay? It's a thing. So how does, let's scoot this way just a little, perfect. A common way that guillotines happen in closed guard is, you know, if I'm doing a good job of this, staying away from you, then that's a good time to do a sit-up sweep. You'll have to deal with my hands because you can't sit up with my hands here. But if I'm kind of sitting back and my hands are not controlling your hips, you open your guard, he sits up, he's gonna try to put his armpit on top of my shoulder, right? And then it's gonna bump me with his hips, and actually I did this to you rolling today.
Yes,
you remember? Okay, so look, he can sweep me. There's a Kimura here, this far arm he's got access to. My defense to this is kind of like to tackle him back to the mat, and then if you're savvy, you're gonna wrap my head in a guillotine as you're going back down, just like that, okay? So, same thing, you wanna put my chin on my chest, bring your hands really high, that, okay? And you're using your knees real tight. If I don't get out of here, I'm gonna get choked. So here's what I do, go ahead and let go for a second. He's trying to do this to me. My posture is my problem, my spinal integrity. So what I'm gonna do is I wanna try to straighten my spine out and take that away from you. So I'm gonna get on my toes, I'm gonna get my butt up in the air like a teepee, and I'm gonna put my forehead in the mat. And I'm trying to look that way. So I recommend maybe watching the video we did before, which is the standing guillotine escape, because this is literally the same thing. It's harder because the ground's in the way, but it's the same concept, okay? So he's got me, forehead in the mat, up on my toes, and I'm looking that way. And I can even like pressure in with my shoulder. You see what's happening to his guillotine here? And then at this point, I have choices. What I'd probably do is go like this, get back where I wanted, start breaking open his guard, and pass it. That's what I would do, most likely, but it's always gonna change, okay? So it's this, right? I want this. So butt up in the air. I saw people doing this with like their butt real low. You need this angle. And I'm trying to push my head forward. It's really hard to hold.
It is a shoulder.
Shoulder pressure right in your sternum. You want to let go.
Yeah.
And I can wait you out there. As long as you're not threatening this, I'm okay. And if I understand how the choke works, it can feel bad, but I also know you can't choke me unless you solve that problem. So I wait, I just keep putting pressure on you. Look, I'm not saying I can't fight the grips. I can also frame your face. So let's go back there. Okay, so I'm here. Look, I can start fighting these grips. I can start framing his face. But as I explained in class, my goal, especially at this point in my life, I'm in my 50s, my goal is to get as much done with as little energy as possible. That is how the Gracies designed this. Elio Gracie, look up the story. He was too weak and too frail to do jujitsu. This is the true story. One day, everyone was gone from the gym. He had been watching the whole time. Guy came in and he started teaching the guy jujitsu. And then his family realized, oh, he can do this, right? I mean, not a physically imposing dude. You know, they put Hoist Gracie in the first UFC for a reason. He was not the most physically imposing dude in the family, not even close. So they were trying to prove like this thing could be done. Smaller people against bigger people, older people against younger people, more athletic people. So if I can solve a guillotine with my posture alone, that's winning big time for me. I love trying to solve problems with base, posture. And I always think to myself, how can I solve this? And it's not a problem, it's a what? Do you remember? Every problem is a puzzle. Remember? And every puzzle has a solution. So I get into puzzle solving mode. I'm in a guillotine, whether standing or on the ground. How do I solve this puzzle with the least amount of energy? How do I solve this puzzle with my hips? Because your hips drive everything. Okay, so give it a shot. To get good at this, you have to be in guillotines, right? Don't be terrified of getting in a guillotine. And like you and I, we're training partners, so you know, I could say, hey, put me in a guillotine, or I could kind of let you put me in a guillotine, and then work to get out of it. And if you choke me, I tap and we start over. But I learned something, right? So if you have good training partners, I'm not afraid you're gonna hurt me or rip my head off or anything. And then I can get better at my guillotine escapes. So that's the way to do it. You got anything else?
No, sir.
Right on. Oh, I made it weird. I made it weird.